Tuesday, August 7, 2018, marks the 20th anniversary of the U.S. Embassy bombing in East Africa. More than 200 people died in twin-truck bomb attacks in Kenya and Tanzania. Ceremonies are being held in Nairobi and Dar es Salaam to commemorate the victims and survivors.
Mid-morning of August 7th, 1998, two near-simultaneous bomb explosions rocked the U.S. Embassy compounds in the East African countries of Kenya and Tanzania, killing 224 people and injuring nearly 4,000. At 10:30 a.m., the first explosion outside the entrance to the U.S. Embassy underground garage in Nairobi. The attackers tried to crash a truck full of explosives into the garage. The explosion rocked Nairobi's business district and badly damaged the embassy, as well as several nearby buildings. Paul Kaluku Lima, then a petty trader nearby, remembers that moment well.
I heard the first small explosion followed by a bigger one. That's when everything went up. Some people were hit by the bomb shrapnel, most were hit by debris from the buildings. There were glass fragments all over.
Minutes later, a truck filled with explosives was detonated outside the U.S. Embassy in the Tanzanian city of Dar es Salaam, killing 11 people, with several injured. Crescent Hiza was wounded in the Dar es Salaam attack. At the time, he was working as a driver for the U.S. Embassy.
I didn't know what happened at first. I just heard an explosion. I was thrown up. It was like a dream. When I came to, I was at Muhimbili.
Monica Kapilima also worked for the U.S. Embassy. She escaped the attack because she was away on an official errand when the explosion happened.
What I remember is seeing the building on fire, trees falling, car alarms going off. It was mayhem. I was shocked when I was told it was a bomb. I was very confused.
In all, 224 people died in the attacks, 213 in Nairobi, 11 in Dar es Salaam. More than 4,000 were injured. The embassy attacks in East Africa also introduced Osama bin Laden and his al-Qaida network to the world. A few days later, U.S. intelligence officials concluded that al-Qaida operatives had planned and executed the two attacks. Mwenda Mbijiwe is a security expert in Kenya. He was a member of the Kenyan Air Force at the time. He was among the first to help with rescue efforts at the scene.
That was the first time terrorism as we know it today reached our region. Even though we knew there was terrorism in the world, but it had not reached our region. So our security forces were not prepared for this.
More than 10 al-Qaida operatives were captured in connection with the terror attacks. Nearly all of them were eventually tried, convicted, and sentenced to life in prison in the United States. Among them were Abu Anas Alibi, a key al-Qaida operative, captured in Tripoli, Libya. Two Tanzanian nationals, Khalfan Khamis Mohammed and Ahmed Khalfan Khailani, both tried in the U.S. and sentenced to life in prison. Fazul Abdullah Mohammed, who carried Comoros and Kenyan passports, was suspected to be one of the main organizers. He was reportedly killed in Somalia in 2011 after evading capture for nearly 13 years. 2 decades later, there are significant changes to security measures in East Africa. Access to government and public buildings in major cities and towns now requires strict security procedures.
Security agencies have been strengthened now. They have undergone training in several places, including the U.S. We have bomb disposal units in our law enforcement agencies, and they receive training in the U.S. and Germany.
The terror attacks also changed lives. Crescent Hiza still works as a U.S. embassy driver in Dar es Salaam, but he says he suffers frequent flashbacks.
Up until this day, I am in fear, especially when I hear some kind of loud sounds, such as a tire burst. I am not straight with those kinds of situations.
At the site where the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi once stood, there is now a memorial park and a wall with the names of the victims. so anyone who visits can learn about what happened and remember the lives lost on that deadly day in August.